All engines go, ignition, whatever garbage they say in those dumb movies. Hey guys, welcome back to SourceFedNERD. My name is Sam Basher, and today we're testing out something a little new. With me today, I have Miss Whitney Moore.
Hello.
Hello, she's awesome. And here I hear it's the lovely Matt Lieberman.
Hello.
Thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, of course.
What are we doing? Oh, we're doing a new podcast. That's what it's called. That's what they call these types
What
of
is
things.
the podcast called, Sam?
Best thing I saw all week.
Best thing I saw all week.
So the whole premise is that we got a bunch of friends together,
Bunch of good
That's
friends.
sit around a table, put a couple mics in front of us, and then we talk about
The best thing I saw all week.
yeah, and that could be movies, that could be TV shows, web videos, vines, hell, it could be even a picture. And fun part, each of us bring our own thing to the table, but we also reach out to you guys for something to talk about. And today, you guys suggested the Rogue One trailer 2 that came out. Got us really excited. I'm excited to talk about it, but there's a little surprise for you. Each of us has brought our own new thing, and each of our topics are very different from each other.
Yes.
So I'm excited to hear your pitches as to why
It's the best thing
why it's the
I
best
saw all
thing,
week.
and why I should maybe watch it and why they should watch it.
Okay.
But this is just to make sure. This is just a little test. We're going to see how we like it. You guys let us know how you like it in the comments down below and on social media. But to kick it off, Matt, what's the best thing you saw all week?
Okay, the best thing I saw all week, and I understand immediately this will be controversial,
Wow.
is the ABC series Bachelor in Paradise.
What?
Bachelor in
You're
Paradise.
full of prunes.
Bachelor in Paradise. I am not full of prunes. It's hard for anyone to be full of prunes because you're going to shit them right out. And you're going to shit when I tell you about how amazing this show is. So my girlfriend and I have somehow, we've gotten into reality TV. And I used to work in reality TV. I don't like watching reality TV with the exception of like Top Chef maybe. But she watches reality TV like when she's at home during the day. And sometimes it'll bleed over into at night. And we started watching the show Unreal, which is a scripted show about making The Bachelor, like a fake version of The Bachelor. And I love that show. It's like super soapy and dark and crazy, and it's really cool. So we started watching The Bachelor because of that, and then The Bachelorette, and now we're
slippery
watching
slope.
the Bachelor spinoff, Bachelor in Paradise. So whereas The Bachelor and Bachelorette are ostensibly reality shows about people trying to find love, which they're not. It's just a bunch of people trying to get on television and be famous for a hot second, maybe boost their business or whatever.
And they make good money, right? They make a little bit of
Not
money.
really. They make a little bit of money, but
You get to go to exotic.
you get to go to exotic places.
Downtown Los Angeles.
Yeah, well,
Wow.
like, you get to go to like Thailand and stuff. Like on the Bachelorette this season, they went to like Thailand. They went to South America. Like they go to some cool places. But Bachelor in Paradise is not about that at all. It's a bunch of people who didn't win Bachelor or Bachelorette, who were just there to like make drama, who are stuck on a beach in Mexico, and they basically have to constantly bang each other on national television to stay on television. This is the basic premise of the show. So basically, all these people are put together, and they're all like, good-looking people, and they're all sizing each other up. Like, it's supposed to be like, maybe I'll have another shot at love, like one that's more balanced because there's more women and there's more guys and whatever. But instead, every week people get sent home if no one is either dating them on the show or wants to date them.
God, that would
Boy.
crush my self-esteem.
I know, which is why people go out of their way to seduce each other and manipulate each other to stay on television, which begs the question, well, why don't you just go home? Like, if there's no one that you're actively interested in, why don't you just go away and go home? They can't do that because they want to be famous too bad. So it's become like this, like right before we go to sleep, guilty pleasure show that we can't stop watching.
We talking an hour or 30 minutes?
Oh no, Sam.
Oh no, of course not.
It is a full 90 minutes per episode twice a week. So if you...
What could they possibly fit in twice a week with
You
the show?
would be surprised. So in the first episode alone, we had this guy Chad was the big breakout
How many
star.
Chads are there?
There's only one Chad.
Damn.
There's only one Chad.
There's only one Chad.
He was on The Bachelorette this season, and he got kicked off like about a month in, and every week was just about what will Chad say next? Who will he piss off now? Who's he gonna fight now? And for some reason, the girl JoJo never noticed until like all of the guys interrupted their own dates to be like, this guy is a terrible person. You need to get rid of him. And she still didn't believe them, or at least that's what the cameras make you believe. Because like, they're telling the people to make decisions that will actively make the show better, even against their own interests. So like that's how Chad was able to stay on The Bachelorette for so long. On this show, in one night, the first night, he gets so drunk, he grabs the one girl who is kind of the trashiest. They get into a hot tub. They're making out like crazy. Then they're fighting and throwing drinks at each other and spilling drinks on each other. Then he's like shaking her like a rag doll. Then she's apologizing. Then he's calling her a bitch and he's like insulting her. And finally, after hours of this, it seems, as everyone else is like paying attention to it.
I am so captivated right now.
That's what I'm saying. It's just watching the worst of humanity fester.
It's like a weird Hunger Games.
Yeah.
It is, except there isn't a clear prize.
And
like at least
no
in the
winner.
Right, there's no winner.
the
Like
thirsty
okay,
games.
so arguably, last season on Bachelor in Paradise, as they keep saying over and over as the carrot for these people to stay, the last two people on Bachelor in Paradise last season got engaged at the end of the show.
Aww.
Like they actually fell in love and got engaged.
And when they say that, is it like, did they get engaged or did they go on camera?
Well,
and just
no,
use the proper ring?
you read between you can read between the lines. Like you can tell certain couples actually are that interested in each other, and some of them are just doing it for other reasons.
I'm going to be picking up a couple issues of Us magazines.
Right?
And
And figuring that out.
see if they're on top of their relationship.
Oh man! At the end of the Bachelorette this season, the woman JoJo, she picked the hot former NFL quarterback over the hot real estate guy who actually genuinely was in love with her. Like it was so fucking obvious this guy was just like head over heels for her, and she picked the other guy instead, and it was awful. This show is just like a ticking time bomb. Like there's a like a beautiful woman who only has one arm on the show, and the guy Chad, one of the last things he did before he got completely kicked off of the show, was just like insulting her, and like it's like, why are you guys all being mad at me when like she's here? And it's like, what's wrong with you? Finally, after he gets so drunk and no one wants to talk to him anymore, he passes out in the middle of the set and is there all night, and they try to imply that he shit his pants while he was passed out.
Whoa.
Don't know if that's actually true or not, but that's what they imply.
The show has it all.
Yeah.
How many seasons are we talking
Of Bachelor
in Paradise?
This is the third season of Bachelor in Paradise. When I was still working in reality, there was a show called The Bachelor Pad, which was essentially the same concept, except instead of a nebulous non-prize, people were there competing for money and love, technically. But yeah, so this week's second episode ended with this guy, Evan, who's just like, he was never going to get picked by The Bachelorette. He's completely clueless. He's just kind of like a nerdy dad. He's like 33. He's got 2 kids. He's divorced. He's an erectile dysfunction specialist. And he keeps walking headfirst into problems and bad scenarios and basically just being shamed on national television.
But he's aware, right? To an extent, is somebody aware?
He's got to be, and that's why I can't feel bad for him.
And that's why you can't really feel bad for anybody on reality TV.
I want to feel bad for him because, like,
because that's how it's engineered.
Right.
So.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's like one girl on the entire island or wherever they are in Mexico that actually has any interest in him, and he's like super nice and funny and sweet, but he's like, I want him to make the first move, and he's just not. And finally, they kiss, and she's like, they go to him talking about it. He's just like, what an amazing kiss. She's an incredible woman. I think I'm in love. And she's just like, that was the worst kiss I have ever had in my entire life. I don't know what I'm going to do, because the way the game works, right, is she still needs him to like her, so he'll give her a rose so she can stay on the show and potentially meet somebody else.
This sounds evil.
It is evil because finally,
you keep watching.
He got a date card. You get a date card. You get to go on a date. You get to pick someone to go on a date with. So he picks her, and she's like, please don't pick me. He picks her. And while everybody else gets to go on like romantic dinners or like adventures or something like that, like one this week was like they got to go zip lining and all this stuff, They get walked into this big hotel where they're greeted by like 1,000 cheering people and a Guinness World Records person, and they're told that they get to go for the Guinness World Record for longest, hottest kiss by eating a habanero pepper and having to kiss each other without breaking for 90 seconds. This is the same day that this woman is like, this guy is the worst kisser in the world, and he's unaware. So she's miserable, he's thrilled, and like we're watching it just like, oh no, because it just like looks horrible, and like they leave everything in so you can see like saliva like coming off. Just the worst.
So, how bad? So you recommend this show for everybody?
No, I don't recommend it for everybody. Here's the thing, like I've kind of run out of good scripted shows to watch, because
what's wrong with rewatching shows?
because like I don't really like rewatching anymore, not that much, and also like I've got Denise to think about too. Like she doesn't necessarily like all the same stuff that I like. Like I'd like to rewatch season 1 of The Flash. She doesn't really like The Flash.
Yeah, Sam, why don't you think about Denise?
I didn't.
So
I'm
selfish.
sorry.
You know, so like we're looking for fresh things that we can watch together and both be engaged by, and this has just become
very adult of you.
Yeah, you know, like we're working our way through The Night Of too, which is an incredible drama, but like sometimes you're not in the mood to watch like a crushing drama about a man basically being walked into life in prison.
I feel you.
Yeah.
And the show I'm going to bring up is because I'm rewatching it, but through rewatching, I realized what the best episode of it is.
Ooh.
But I don't want to get to it just yet.
Okay.
That is yours. It's on the 3rd season.
It's on the 3rd season. It's on Monday and Tuesday nights. It's all on Hulu. If you're a Hulu subscriber, that's how I watch it.
And which network is that one?
ABC, and
ABC,
they have a website too. If you go on their website, you can watch episodes too. It's complete trash.
That's
You
the
don't have to
best
watch it.
pitch of a Bachelor show I've ever heard.
It sounds
and
interesting.
I'm definitely gonna watch it.
Because the only reality shows that I've been like really interested in are cooking shows, which usually it's Chopped is my favorite. But also I liked one where it was, I can't remember the name, but the premise was that they brought all these models basically together, or pretty people, and they put them in competitions to win some kind of monetary prize. But really, they were judges judging how they are as human beings, and it's like they're seeing. It's like the people don't know that they're actually being judged on like when you're making decisions. Like they'll put them in scenarios where like
Was it called model behavior?
that doesn't sound. It sounds. It was like. No, it's a 2-word thing though. But they.
It's not Beauty and the Geek.
No,
Oh
not
my
Beauty and the
God,
Geek, but I
that
watched that
show.
too, and that was really bad. But there's one scenario where a woman thought she lost her wedding ring in the trash, and all the models have to one by one wait in this room while the woman like looks through it because they're waiting to go do a photo shoot. So you have to see is which model will get up and actually go and help.
Right.
So yeah, and then people get kicked off based on that.
It sounds like What Would You Do?
Maybe that's what it is. That's similar to that, but that's the only reality show I like. So if you like reality shows, go ahead and check out Bachelor in Paradise.
Bachelor in Paradise. You so don't have to. If you like reality shows, watch Chef's Table. It's so much better.
It is fantastic.
That's the best thing you saw this week, Whitney. What about you? What's the best thing you saw all week?
I'm really excited to tell Sam about my thing because I know that he has not seen it. Matt, have you seen Alton Brown's Good Eats?
Of course I have.
Okay.
Some Good Eats?
I had never seen it. I was a fan of Alton Brown, and I had just it was on really before my time, but it is all on Netflix now, and it is such a good show on so many levels. So, basic premise is this guy Alton Brown. He's a cook and a really, really smart scientist, and he explains the science of food, and usually takes one specific. He's got a theme. Like I think the pilot episode is margaritas. And he teaches you the history, why chemically it works, how to make one. So you're learning so much. You're learning what the backstory is, how it came to fruition. I just last night watched one about tortillas, and he makes from scratch. He takes maize and takes the whole kernels, and then is like,
Grinds
okay,
it down.
Grinds it down. He soaks it for 24 hours, and he's like, okay, this is how they did it back in the day, and they used this process called, I obviously don't remember, but
Why is that obvious?
It was.
Why is that obvious?
I'm done. I'm done with it. I just like it when he opens his mouth and then shows me the pictures of the food. I don't listen to it. No, but he brings in anthropologists who have hilarious visual aids, and I love a good visual aid.
I've always wanted him as a teacher in
Oh,
school
my God.
I've seen him.
He hosts a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Cooking Channel loves him.
He's such a goober. I love him.
Yeah.
He's like, he is, I wish he were my dad.
Yeah.
Or my like cool uncle. I don't know.
I feel like Uncle's better because I also get the impression that in person he's probably a little dickish.
Yeah, maybe. I mean,
Probably,
anybody
yeah.
who's that smart and that famous
Has no
maybe.
patience.
Yeah. But it's so clear that I'm starting from the beginning,
Yeah.
and it's so clear that they have not a big budget at all, but they're having so much fun, and it's so fun to watch people have fun. They're just like wearing goofy costumes and doing bad voices and having like kind of shitty animation, and it's just like really, really fun. And best part is you can take away practical advice too. So you can learn, you can go through all the steps of gathering maize and using the 24-hour soaking process, but he's also just like, you can get this chemical really like online very easily, and it helps soften the husk of the corn, and that'll help like absorbing the nutrients. And then all you need to do is get this press, and there you have homemade tortillas. And what I love about it is it's always so much easier than what you think it might be.
Really?
Oh my God, yeah. He simplifies it. Like the margarita one he was like, just get some lime juice and that's it. Like add it to your tequila.
Yeah,
and
tequila, sugar, lime juice.
yeah, that's basically it. And he's like, it'll be the best margarita you've had. And I think that we're so used to buying pre-made mix or just like going to the store and getting tortillas. And it's like, you can do this stuff so easily if you just have a little confidence and Alton Brown by your side.
Yeah.
And
God, I would love to. No, my favorite thing about Cutthroat Kitchen is his attitude, because it sounds like it's the same in his show that he has with Good Eats, because he's so like a little cocky, a little bit, and he's like so just like a little flamboyant too. So he's just like, he's like kind of doing this and this, and he's like talking, he's like having fun with
Such
his
a
hands.
Yeah.
He's always doing hand stuff, and I would just like to see his hands make a little tortilla in front of them.
oh my God, it's great. And he does costumes. He's a goofball. Also, I have to say, because I was a fan of Cutthroat Kitchen.
So good.
And you've been to Umami Burger, right?
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
once.
Okay, so
Their hot sauce is incredible.
that place is so good. Alton Brown designed a burger for Umami Burger that was
right.
limited run. I'm going to read you the ingredients, because what he did, he made a sort of Good Eats style video
That's
for
cool.
Umami Burger explaining what umami
was, yeah.
And he's like, well, I'm going to make a burger that is...
What is umami for people who don't know what that
Umami
is?
is the sixth flavor.
Yeah.
It's considered
Savory.
It's the savory flavor. That's not necessarily a taste, but it's found in foods. And so he was like, I'm going to build the ultimate umami burger. And here is what it is. So it is umami is beef blend that is mixed with bacon lardons.
Wow,
What a lardon is.
lardon.
I got a raging lardon right now.
That's Alton Brown's shirt that he has.
Raging lardon. Okay, the burger is topped with cheddar cheese, miso maple bacon, smashed cheesy tots. Favorite part, by the way, smashed cheesy tots, a fried egg, fried sage, and a house-made coffee ketchup created by Alton Brown himself. It was ethereal. It was life-changing, and it was gone in like 3 bites. It's
my God.
so good. And
Oh, wait,
it's
did you have it?
Yeah, I had it.
Come on.
It was so good, and it's just so cool because you appreciate it more when you know the science behind it. And as someone who is like a casual science fan that doesn't delve too much into theory, I really appreciate when there's analogies being made and visual aids in ways that my tiny baby brain can understand.
It's my favorite. Those are all the videos I share on Facebook, is when they use like, this is what space-time is, and they use a sheet and a bowling ball, and I'm like,
Oh my
I
God.
understand it now.
Yeah.
I don't need you to explain it with actual terms. But how many seasons of Good Eats are there?
Ooh, several, at least one.
Okay, at least one.
I think it's like I think it's like 6 or 7 seasons.
Really?
Actually. Yeah.
Oh man.
There's a lot of them.
I got so much Alton Brown Good
Yeah.
Eatsin' to do.
One of my favorite things from that umami video that he did was he talked about how there's an umami sauce in every culture.
Okay.
Like in Japan, it's soy sauce. In the UK, it's Worcestershire sauce, and in America, it's ketchup.
Ketchup, yeah.
That's what.
Yeah,
That's the
because
umami, yeah.
ketchup has this kind of like unity of sweetness and vinegar that gets you right in that umami spot. It's why we're so addicted to ketchup.
Right in the umami
ketchup.
spot.
I put ketchup on everything. Okay, so when I went to Umami Burger and I ordered it, I was like, this tastes like we waited in line. It costs like more than a regular burger. I'm like, it tastes like a regular burger, and I was really disappointed.
You were underwhelmed.
I was super
Do you remember
underwhelmed.
what you had?
The regular, like the
umami burger.
Umami burger.
It just, I mean, it tastes like a fancy burger. It's not necessarily the greatest burger of all time. But I will say, their hot sauce, which isn't on any of their menu items, you have to ask for it specifically, and it comes out in little spoons, is some of the most incredible spicy hot sauce I've ever had.
Damn. So the best thing I saw a week, surprisingly enough, and thank you, we'll all check out Good Eats.
Do it.
Matt's got homework now. Len's got homework over there. He's going to watch some Good Eats. Alton
Good
Brown.
Eats,
and
Len.
you guys are too. But mine is an umami burger, and I wish I could bring it out right now. It's the best thing I saw. Saved it from Sunday. But no, mine is Futurama. Oh my God, this show that got canceled 12 million
So
times.
good.
And the show is amazing. And one I like, there's a top 10 video that I'll show you guys later, but you guys should go check it out yourselves. It shows you the top 10 things, so clickbaity, the things you don't know about Futurama, but it goes into the backstory.
But are they
of-
things I actually don't know about Futurama? Because I read, Sam.
Well, yeah, of course you do. You know every like actor and writer and director in Hollywood. But they said that the writers in that show had like Ivy League degrees in sciences and whatnot, and so
David X. Cohen, PhD.
that they're geniuses, and so all of when they dive into higher mathematics, actually, fun fact, and I'll get into my episode in a second, but in later seasons, there's an episode where the professor creates a machine that can exchange people's brains,
Oh,
but
yeah.
their minds don't go. They can be exchanged once, but you can't switch them back. you have to
Yeah.
have another person
I
there
love
to
that
make it work.
episode.
The theory they created in that episode actually became a real theory.
Really?
Because you never need to figure out mind transference or transference where it can't go back the same way it came, and you'd need a third party. And he says, no matter what, if you use this theory, you can figure out how many people or objects you'd need for this exchange to work. Fun fact about Futurama, also the language you see in the background of every episode, people deciphered it because it meant something. It wasn't just random. And then they made another language, and people deciphered that. And then when they got near the end, they made a third, but no one really got to decipher enough because there weren't enough clues because just the season ended, or the series ended. But anyways, the episode I want to talk about is The Why of Fry, and it's before Comedy Central picked it up.
Yeah.
And
So good.
It's like
Yeah.
season 5, season 4,
It's
season
4
5?
or 5. Yeah, that sounds about right. It's the Fry feels very disheartened because they started doing deliveries without him, and so he is by himself. He takes Nibbler for a walk, the little three-eyed little monkey puppy thing, and Nibbler starts talking to him because it's the big surprise. Oh, he's intelligent, and he's like been living for thousands and thousands of years.
It's like the big reveal of something that's been planned since the first episode.
Yeah, which is so cool. That's another thing they pointed out is that I'll get to that in a second. But Nibbler just explains to Fry that he's the most important person in the universe because he can stop a threat. Basically, this grand intelligence is collecting information from all over the universe, and Fry, for some reason, can get past them without them noticing him.
Because he has a dumb brain.
He's he's inbred because that's a whole nother episode. But my favorite part is that he goes in and he like plants a bomb to get rid of this threat, but his escape route doesn't work. So he is trapped with this bomb that's going to send him into oblivion with this enemy. But the enemy's like, do you know why they picked you, and like, do you know how long they've been planning this? And they're like, what are you talking about? And they show the clip of the night that he was frozen and sent into the future, and he realizes that they did this to him. He had no choice, and Nibbler says to him, he says, what's the price of one life compared to trillions? And he says, but it's my life. And then they like get sucked into the universe. But it basically comes down to, sure, that argument holds weight, but the choice should be made by the individual. And I watched that, and I would kind of like start to tear up a little bit because I was like, damn it. Fry's a fucking idiot, but then like he's actually dealing with like
a real
emotion.
powerful thing.
Yeah, because the rest of the time he's eating his like shorts and everything.
Eating his
like,
boogers.
They deal some heavy psychological concepts and science fiction. That's like what you were gonna say about how it became a real theory. I mean, that's to me the best thing about science fiction is that it sort of it's a feedback loop. It creates new stuff out of the theory. And I think it's so cool. And Futurama makes me cry all the time.
I think they have 4 episodes, and they always center around Fry. And it's when it's his dog episode, it's this episode.
Luck of the Fryrish, where it's the 7-leaf Clover.
That's a fifth. Okay.
That might be my favorite.
And then later seasons, he gets to talk to his mom in her dreams.
Oh my God.
And then the
that one.
finale episode where he and Leela get to like live together and they choose to live over again. Like it's like, oh my God, the show is so perfect. And I know you guys have both at least dabbled with Futurama a little bit. So I
I
wanted to
love
ask.
Futurama. That was a show I used to rewatch Futurama. Like I would watch the whole series on DVD, then rewatch it again with the commentary.
Is the commentary really good?
The commentary on those DVDs were great because Billy West and John DiMaggio were on almost every single commentary.
So talented.
With David X. Cohen, and it's just like all these really funny people in a room making jokes and talking about the thing they love and doing voices, and it's like, it's the best. Yeah.
Wait, what would be your favorite episode from both of you? Ooh, big question. Because I know
Wyatt Fry
Fry
is really up there. But I think Luck of the Friarish might just go just a step further. It's like it's got that emotional hook. I love that we got to go back into see what his family was up to after he died, or after he was gone. There's a lot of good stuff.
I like the one, I don't know what it's called, but it's when they crash land, they get stranded on an island, like an alien planet, and they have to just sort of survive for the whole episode. And that, I might be mixing it up with another one, but it might be like this feminine utopia.
Oh, the one with the Amazon women?
Yeah.
Oh, that's on a
I
planet.
love that one.
Yeah, they crash land on a planet. That's a good one with
Snoo.
Yeah.
Death by Snoo.
Then I love that animation because they say what it is, and then both Brannigan and Fry are excited but terrified, like, and it lasts for too long. And at the end, they're in their little leg cast, their crotch cast.
Crotch cast.
Oh my God.
But yeah, I can't suggest enough Futurama, the Wyatt Fry season 4.
Season 5, episode 8?
Look, that's nice. There's a very specific
Season
guess.
4, episode 8.
That sounds about
It's
right.
episode 8, yeah.
But that show, if you have not watched Futurama, because I was one of those kids who was like, for some reason, it seemed too weird when I was growing up. And then finally, after I had graduated, I sat down, I was like, I got some time to kill, and I watched the first season and fell in love and then finished it in 2 weeks. It's very quick, it's very easy to watch, and it's utterly entertaining, and it deals with some really fun sci-fi concepts. Specifically, the one that always like gets me, and is always just kind of fun to think about, is the box episode where there's a universe in a box, and inside that box is another universe
with the blue Zoidberg.
Blue Zoidberg, yeah.
That's a great one.
There's so many good ones.
So
I'm
many
surprised
good ones.
nobody said Jurassic Park, but that's just
The
because
dog
it's too
one.
heartbreaking.
It is.
Yeah.
They didn't need to be
Well,
that
it's also-
mean.
yeah.
They didn't
They
need
did
to be.
That one like is super sad, but it doesn't bring the jokes as well. Like Luck of the Friarish is sad, but it also is really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the
Yes.
Wyatt Fry I always found was very funny, and I like how Nibbler manipulates everybody.
I like any episode with Hedonism Bot.
He's
my
very
my favorite
Hedonism Bot's super
character.
funny. Yeah, the global warming episode's really good. There are a lot
It is
of good
because
ones.
the Farnsworth's responsible for it, anyways. But we can go into Futurama. We can do a whole Futurama podcast if we want to
Yeah.
rewatch that, which would be a lot of fun. But also a special part of the show is that we ask you guys what we should talk about on Best Thing I Saw All Week, and you guys suggested also by just popular demand the new Rogue One trailer, the trailer number 2. We got a lot more of Gareth Edwards' interpretation of the Star Wars universe. This is the time between episode 3 and episode 4. So it's very cool to see the mishmash of technology and aesthetic, especially with Krennic, because he's got like the plastic medals that are on his suit, similar to Darth Vader, but like you still have to make it look kind of sexy and sleek, because it's supposed to be the future in a sense. But I really enjoyed it. I want to know from you guys, and then I'm going to get to your guys' thoughts, because you've been tweeting up a storm like... Mark Allen at MarkAllen43 had everything we needed and wanted to want us to go see the movie. Nailed reading that, but yeah, you guys got it. Mark got it. What did you guys think? Let's start off with Whitney.
I didn't know I was supposed to watch it,
Oh.
but it's probably great.
Oh, yeah.
And Star Wars is, I mean, I'm not too difficult to please with Star Wars. It's never been my fandom, so I don't get as offended as some people might. So I'm sure it's great.
What did you think about Force Awakens?
I thought it was boring.
Me too, don't tell me.
I didn't like it. I thought it was fine, and I thought that it was a lot of fan service, which is
definitely.
fine.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, what did you think?
Of Force Awakens or
Of
this
Rogue
trailer?
One trailer.
I thought the trailer was awesome. I thought it was absolutely awesome. I think that this is the most visually dynamic Star Wars that we've ever seen, ever. the shot where Jin Urso, she's up on like the edge of what looks like a skiff or something, and a TIE fighter comes right up, like, and it's just like the way
face.
yeah,
Interface.
the way that it's shot, the design, the way that they marry the 70s aesthetic and modern aesthetic is really, really cool. Fucking Donnie Yen as a blind potential Force guy. I don't think he's a Jedi, but he's...
Oh, no, he's just like a follower of the Force.
A follower of the Force.
Normal dude.
Okay,
yeah.
He's a Force groupie?
He's like but he's also like Zatoichi the blind swordsman. So like I'm super excited. It feels like a breath of fresh air. It doesn't have to be the same hero's journey all over again. It's playing around in this universe in a way that's respectful, but also shaking things up. It's darker. It's grittier. I'm one of the people who really loved Gareth Edwards' Godzilla, and I know I'm in the minority on that, but I genuinely thought it was a brilliant movie. It wasn't necessarily the vision that a lot of people wanted for a Godzilla movie, not even necessarily what I wanted going into a Godzilla movie, but the way he committed to it and then pulled it off. Yeah. I loved that movie. And to me, this is Disney handing over the reins to potentially the biggest franchise of all time to a guy who deliberately does his thing and said, go do it. Now, granted, they're doing reshoots, so maybe that's not entirely the case, but what we're seeing on screen here is really special.
It is, and you brought up Gareth Edwards, and he's actually the kind of iffy factor for me when it comes to this movie, because Godzilla I was very excited for, and you were right, the spectacle and scale of both this and Godzilla were fantastic, because seeing especially the shot in Godzilla where the two soldiers are laying down on the bridge and the whatever evil monster, the creature thing is walking by, and you just see the glow of everything and the scale of how big these things are compared to us. Beautiful. And a lot of the shots in that movie are awesome, but the actors were not, I've seen Aaron Taylor Johnson and Elizabeth Olsen act way better than they did in that movie. And are they phenomenal actors? No, they're not, but I've just seen them do better. And I think that it kind of comes down to script, and it kind of comes down to the director as well, as kind of telling them how they're supposed to feel in these scenes, because their performances yanked me out of that movie. And I feel like when it comes to this, that's the scariest part. Yeah. So I could be completely wrong, because they probably saw that and Disney was like, okay, maybe we'll help out a little bit when we make the characters. We'll make help the actors out a little bit, but that's the biggest if factor.
The one thing that did kind of bum me out, or at least like piqued my radar a little bit, I will two things. One, great, Darth Vader's in it. I didn't need to know that from the trailer. Didn't need to know. Didn't need to know. I don't care. It was already a good trailer. Just throwing an extra little thing at the end is a trailer thing that I hate that people are doing now. It's like one shot of something cool. You could have just incorporated that into the trailer or left it out. I don't care. Don't just put one shot.
Every
at the
Avengers trailer does that. You
Does
got Spider-Man, you got Vision.
Right. I'm done with that.
Matt's done.
The other thing is the droid that has been brought up a lot. K2?
K2SO, something like that.
K2SO?
Yeah.
K2SO. People have been talking up this droid like for weeks about like how he's got like different attitude and he's kind of like a dick and whatever. And it was just kind of a very leaden line. Like, I don't know if it's just the performance or what, but it wasn't what I was expecting, maybe.
It's also just one line that you
saw,
yeah.
And I'm like, why pick that line?
Yeah.
To introduce a whole character.
It's for the kids. It's like, he's funny. He might murder everybody, but hopefully he doesn't.
It's like, the captain says you're okay, so I won't murder you.
Trey Norwood at The Woods of Nor writes, definitely has the scale that Gareth Edwards captures so well. From what I've heard, he still has Final Cut, so I'm excited.
That's cool.
That is cool. That is very nice of Disney to do, because especially everything that's happening with Warner Brothers making 2 cuts of their movies or like their big blockbusters. It's nice to see at least one studio has a tiny bit of faith.
Did you see that open letter on Pajiba to Kevin Tsujihara?
Yeah, someone wrote an open letter to
a former Warner Brothers employee, because they liquidated 10% of their entire staff a couple years ago, and she was one of the people who lost their jobs.
That's a lot.
Yeah, and she's like, you keep giving opportunities to terrible directors and terrible executives, but you keep letting other people go while all of your movies flop.
Oops. Wow.
Yeah. Oops.
Somebody said it.
Oops. You guys should go check that out if you'd like. But I want to know from you guys, what would be what's the dream cameo you want in this movie? I guess that's the best way I can say it.
Dream cameo?
Yeah, because you're getting Darth Vader.
Okay. My dream cameo is no cameos.
Liar.
No, my dream cameo is no cameos.
I completely agree.
I swear to fucking God. I don't need another fan service piece of shit young person cameo in any movie ever again. I don't need fan service. The movies themselves are fan service because we're getting more movies. Like, I don't need it. I don't want it. No one wants it.
Yeah.
Darth Vader, maybe. Who do you want?
Han Solo.
Why?
Because it would be cool if he had it.
What? Tell me what young Han Solo would add of substance to this movie.
Here's the thing, we're getting confused. Those kinds of additions to movies, they don't usually add a lot over, and
Then
that's okay
why-
with me. That's okay with me. All I want to do is see it in my eye holes because I'm that kind of fanboy.
You're already getting a Han Solo movie.
Yeah. I think that it
Someone
doesn't
doesn't like
add,
Han
but
Solo.
it definitely does detract
love Han Solo.
from my movie watching experience.
Yeah.
Too many cameos.
Well, fine.
Can't
I
do it.
guess I'm the minority at the table. Is that what you want, kids?
No,
Is that
Sam.
what
I
you
think
want?
I don't know. We don't want you to be a minority.
Oh, I
and
meant them.
Oh, and
Yeah.
it's a very like it's a valid point of view. As a fan, you want to see the things that you love and the people that you love in movies, but it takes you out of the movie and returns you to being a fan analyzing a thing that you like.
Yes.
And it turns it from being a movie into just more content. And movies should be more special than that.
That's true.
That was so well said. I have nothing to add. That's a perfect point, and I agree.
Dr. Complex at Ian's the name _57 agrees with both of you. Got me even more excited, even though the Darth reveal was anticlimactic. There you go.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this little test of the Best Thing I Saw All Week podcast. Whitney, Matt, thank you so much for joining me. You want to do little plugs?
You can watch me on SourceFed sometimes. Or if you like metal, I'm going to start doing a weekly metal show on metalsucks.net.
Very
and
cool.
It'll be silly.
Very cool. Matt Lieberman on Twitter and Nuclear Family Tuesdays and Thursdays, new sketches.
Very cool. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Sam Basher. Very simple to find. Also, you can tweet us your thoughts on all of these shows and also your suggestions for what we should talk about next time using the hashtag BestThingPodcast. Very simple to remember. You can listen to us, you can watch us, you can do whatever you'd like. But thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you guys, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Or at least Community's Donald Glover, who is rumored to be the frontrunner for Lando.
Maybe we'll see when Lando lost the Millennium Falcon to Han, or if he plans to make another collaboration with Ariana Grande. Come on, Donald.
Come on,
Come on,
Donald.
come on. It's been a couple years.